Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking something genuinely fascinating: how corporate tennis events are completely shaking up the traditional team offsite. Look, if you're an HR pro or an executive, you already know the struggle, right? Trying to find an activity that doesn't immediately trigger collective eye rolls. Well, we're going to see how the 3015 Tennis Academy in Glendale, California has engineered a fresh approach that gets people moving, laughing, and building real connections, and literally zero trust falls are required.
Just to keep us on track, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with why tennis actually beats the usual offsites, look at formats for every company culture, break down a typical event timeline, dive into costs and corporate ROI, and finally, walk through how to book your own event. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. Why tennis beats usual offsites. The end of the forced fun slump. So contrast your typical team building with corporate tennis. Typical team building. You know, the escape rooms, the awkward trust falls, being trapped in a draining, windowless conference room all day, it's exhausting. But corporate tennis completely flips that script. It's genuinely inclusive and incredibly energizing. I mean, think about it. Playing doubles requires actual, real-world communication. You're calling balls, you're covering for your partner, adjusting on the fly. It's teamwork that you physically feel, rather than just theorize about on a whiteboard.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. A level playing field where the intern and the VP can rally on the same court. That is the magic of this whole concept. Workplace hierarchy literally vanishes the second you step onto the court. It's this fantastic low-pressure environment that is just perfect for breaking the ice with the new hires or, getting those completely siloed departments to finally mix and mingle naturally.
Moving on to Section 2. Formats for every company culture. Tailoring the court to your team. Look, not every company has the exact same vibe, right? That's why there are 3 main formats you can choose from. First up, you've got team building clinics. These are coach-led sessions packed with drills and mini-games, completely inclusive, zero skill required. Then for groups with a bit more of a competitive streak, there are company tournaments with all that built-in bracket excitement. And finally, wellness programs. These are your recurring sessions that deliver a lasting health impact and frankly act as an amazing employee retention perk.
But what if your team is a total mixed bag? Like you've got hyper-competitive folks mixed in with absolute beginners. Actually, no problem at all. You can just run a hybrid event. Certified coaches will split the group by level, meaning your newcomers get to enjoy a super relaxed clinic, while the experienced players get to battle it out right on the next court. For an event planner, this is absolute gold. You get 100% engagement and nobody feels left out or overwhelmed.
Section 3. A typical event timeline breakdown. How a 2-hour event flows.
If you're wondering what actually happens out there, there's some real psychology behind this 2-hour flow. You kick off with 15 minutes of warm-ups and icebreakers, which is right about the time nervous beginners realize, hey, I'm going to be totally fine. Then you move into 40 minutes of skill stations, rotating through forehands, volleys, and serves. Next is 45 minutes of games and mini competitions, and then you wrap the whole thing up with a nice 20-minute cool down for team photos and recognition.
So, why does this timeline work so well? It's all about momentum. The absolute fastest way to kill a corporate group's energy is making them wait around in long lines. These coach-led stations completely eliminate that idle time. The energy stays super high, and all those mini-games are specifically designed to reward teamwork and effort over raw baseline athletic skill.
Section 4. Event costs and corporate ROI. Validating the business case. Let's talk numbers, because event costs here are surprisingly adaptable based on your headcount. A one-time 2-hour event for a small to mid-sized team will typically run you anywhere from a few hundred up to the low thousands. If you have a larger group, scaling up just means adding more coaches and courts, so that per-person cost stays incredibly reasonable. And if you go for a recurring wellness program, that per-employee cost drops even further. Plus, that can often be funded straight out of your existing wellness budgets.
But the real ROI? It goes way beyond the invoice. Companies are seeing a tangible return here. We're talking stronger cross-department relationships, because pairing people up in doubles forces conversations that just never happen by the office coffee machine. You get this lasting morale lift, because shared physical activity and genuine laughter really stick with people. Ultimately, it's a wellness initiative that your employees will actually be excited to attend.
Which brings us to Section 5, booking your 3015 Academy event, a simple step-by-step process.
Getting this off the ground in Glendale takes just 4 straightforward steps. Step 1, define your goal and get a rough head count. Step 2, pick a date and a format. By the way, mornings or early evenings are usually fantastic for this. Step 3, confirm with the academy. And finally, step 4, send out those invites and get the team hyped.
The reason Step 3 is just so effortless is that the 3015 Tennis Academy literally does all the heavy lifting for you. Founders Mher and Oleg, along with their coaches Alec and Erik, handle the whole shebang. The rackets, the balls, the structure, the execution. Your team seriously just has to show up and play.
Now, you might be thinking of the #1 objection event planners get. What if my team just isn't athletic? What if they have literally never even held a tennis racket before?
The answer is a massive, emphatic no. No experience required whatsoever. Because they maintain such a strong coach-to-player ratio, the staff will literally have your complete beginners rallying over the net and laughing within minutes. The entire setup is engineered so that your starting skill level has zero impact on how much fun you're going to have.
Okay, another common hurdle when planning an active offsite is gear. Like, what do people actually need to go out and buy or dig out of their closets?
Honestly, absolutely nothing special. Just tell them to wear athletic clothes, decent court shoes, and bring some water. That's it. Rackets and tennis balls are entirely provided as loaners. Lowering the barrier to entry like that is exactly what turns those shy, hesitant employees into active, engaged participants.
And finally, from a purely logistical standpoint, how far in advance do you actually need to start planning this?
Reaching out just a few weeks ahead is perfect. It gives you the best pick of dates and guarantees they can lock in the perfect coach-to-player ratio for your specific group size. And they're super conveniently located right at 651 Glenwood Road in Glendale, California, which makes it an incredibly easy commute for companies in Burbank, Pasadena, or really anywhere in the wider LA area.
If you are ready to set this up, you can lock in a free trial or start planning right now by just giving them a call at 818-722-3015. Just let them know your headcount, tell them your goal, and they will custom build the entire event around it.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer. You know, those candid photos of a winning doubles point or a super close mini-final, those are the kinds of shared memories that will totally dominate your team's group chats for weeks. So it really leaves you with one final question to think about. Are you going to keep treating company offsites as this mandatory box-checking obligation? Or are you ready to finally invest in an experience that genuinely elevates the human side of your business? Thanks so much for joining me today. And hey, here's to making your next corporate event an absolute ace.